The stars outside the viewport looked calm, but no one on the ship felt calm. The human exploration vessel Aurora 9 drifted through the void like a quiet shadow, its engines humming in a low, nervous tone. Reports had come in only hours ago. An alien outpost sent a distress signal, then suddenly went silent. No answers. No voices. Nothing. Captain Hayes, a man known across the fleet for making impossible decisions work, stood at the front of the deck. He watched the holographic display of the outpost turn slowly above the control console. It looked broken. It looked wounded. "Scan again," Hayes ordered. His voice was steady, but inside, even he felt unsure. This sector was not safe. Many species had claimed it. Many had died trying to keep it. The ship AI replied. "Weak power signatures detected. Possible survivors, uncertain. Communications offline." Around Hayes, the crew exchanged looks. No one liked uncertainty. In space, uncertainty usually meant danger. Hayes finally nodded. "Prepare landing team. 5 minutes." When the landing shuttle touched down on the alien outpost, the world outside was silent. No wind. No voices. Just a slow crackling of broken power cables sparking in the dust. The sky was a cold violet, and 2 moons hung above like watching eyes. The team stepped out. 5 humans. Armor light but flexible. Helmets transparent for visibility. Their boots crunched over cracked stone tiles. Everything around them suggested chaos. A demolished guard tower leaned dangerously to one side. Laser scorch marks decorated the ground and walls like burns from an invisible fire. Strange claw-like marks slashed across metal panels. "Something happened here," whispered Technician Mara, her voice trembling slightly. Hayes lifted a hand for silence. He walked forward, eyes scanning, mind racing. He had seen battlefields before, but this felt different. This didn't feel like a simple attack. It felt like something had tried to erase the outpost completely. Inside the main hall, they found broken armor pieces. Not human, alien. Silver plates shaped like curved wings. Some still glowing with fading blue runes. It looked ceremonial, almost sacred. "Captain," Mara pointed at the far wall. There, smeared across metallic tiles, was a symbol drawn in deep purple pigment. It was a spiral surrounded by jagged lines like a sun exploding inward instead of outward. Hayes did not know what it meant, but something in his gut twisted. As they pushed further, the lights flickered. The energy grid was dying. Every hallway they passed felt like a throat closing, as if the building itself did not want them there. Then they heard it. Footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Echoing down the metal corridor. Hayes raised a fist. The team froze. Weapons lifted. The footsteps grew louder. Each step was deliberate, confident, like someone who had survived something that should have killed them. A shape emerged from the shadows. Tall. Armored. The figure's skin was a pale metallic silver blue, like moonlight made solid. Their armor was cracked, battle-worn, scorched in several places. A long blade rested at their side. It was a female alien warrior, unlike any human had ever seen. Her eyes glowed like dying stars, bright but lifeless, like hope had been taken from them long ago. She did not look afraid. She did not look friendly. She looked like the last survivor of a war that no one warned her about. Her voice broke the silence like a blade striking stone. "You should not be here." Her accent was sharp, each word shaped like a command. Hayes stepped forward carefully, one hand raised, the other near his holster. "We received a distress call. We came to help." The alien woman stared. Her gaze traveled over their gear, their faces, their stance. She did not speak for several seconds. "You call it help," she finally said. "But help is only a word. Like mercy. Like trust. Weak words." Mara swallowed hard. Even from a distance, they could feel the weight of the alien's presence. She was injured, streaks of dark iridescent blood glimmered at her side, but she did not show pain. Only judgment. Hayes studied her. Something felt wrong, not just with her, but with the whole outpost. Why was she alone? Who attacked this place? Why was she the only one left? What happened here? Hayes asked. The alien's grip tightened on her blade. Her voice lowered, almost a whisper. A lesson, she said. A lesson written in fire. In betrayal. Her eyes flickered. Not anger. Something else. Something like confusion. Like she was seeing humans for the first time and could not fit them into her understanding of the universe. Hayes realized something at that moment. This encounter was not a fight, not yet. It was a test. A test of what humanity would do next. Before he could speak again, the ground rumbled under their feet. Distant roars echoed from outside the outpost walls. Something else was coming. The rumble beneath the floor finally faded, leaving only the quiet hum of failing power lines. Dust drifted from the ceiling like falling ash. The alien warrior stood still, blade ready, eyes locked on the humans. Captain Hayes could feel the tension in the air, like static before a storm. He lifted both hands slowly, trying to show he meant no harm. We don't want conflict, he said. We came because someone needed help. The alien woman tilted her head, studying him. Her eyes narrowed, reflecting distant stars like cracked mirrors. She did not lower her weapon. In your tongue, she replied. Help is a gentle word. In mine, it means debt. It means control. Her voice carried a cold edge, the tone of someone who had seen every promise break like glass. Mara stepped forward, voice shaking. We don't want anything in return. We just... The warrior's blade lifted only a few inches, and Mara froze. The air felt heavier, like gravity shifted around the alien. Do not finish, the warrior warned. I know lies. I know traps disguised as kindness. I have seen soft words kill harder than weapons. Hayes kept his voice steady. Then tell us what happened. No lies. The warrior looked around the broken hall. Smoke drifted from damaged generators. The symbol on the wall pulsed faintly under the emergency lights, like a heartbeat fading away. This place, she said, was a fortress of honor. A training ground for my order. That sorry blades worn. We defended our worlds. We believed in silence over charm, action over language. She stepped sideways, pace slow, like a predator circling unfamiliar prey. Then they arrived. A faction without a name. They speak with empty mouths. They offer peace with poisoned hands. My sisters trusted them. A flicker, not pain, but memory, cracked through her expression. They were the first to fall. She was not telling everything. Hayes could feel it. But this was not the moment to push. If he pressed too hard, she might shut down completely, or worse. He lowered his voice. We aren't them. She stared. That is what the last one said. Silence settled like fog. The humans shifted uncomfortably. Even the ship AI, through their comms, said nothing more. Hayes tried again. What's your name? The warrior blinked, almost surprised. Names are earned. You would not understand mine. But you may call me. She stopped. Something in her expression shifted. Not softness, confusion again. You may call me Vera. Hayes nodded. All right, Vera. We want to leave this place with answers. We want to know what's coming. A distant metallic roar echoed through the outpost. Vera's voice dropped to a whisper. You will know soon. The team followed her deeper into the structure. The hallways twisted like veins through the outpost's body. As they walked, Vera spoke, not to share, but to warn. In my culture, she said, words are weapons. Every phrase cuts. Every compliment brands. We do not say what we do not mean. Mara looked confused. So, you never say anything nice? Ever? Nice? Vera repeated, as if the word itself tasted strange. Your language builds illusions. Nice, pretty, beautiful, fragile concepts. Dangerous concepts. Hayes caught that last word. Dangerous how? Vera didn't stop walking. Because such words make warriors forget what they are. We do not need to feel valued. We need only to survive. They entered a chamber filled with cracked data pillars and shattered screens. Dim blue light flickered from between wires. Vera pointed at a console. This recording explains more. But you may not like what you see. Hayes approached, tapping the controls. The console sparked to life. A hologram of a blades-worn soldier appeared, armor pristine, voice shaking. They came with gifts, the hologram said. They said our strength was beautiful. The hologram paused, glitching. We believed them. We believed. Static swallowed the rest. Hayes slowly turned toward Vera. They used that word? She nodded once. A weapon of flattery. They said we were beautiful. Worthy. Special. They opened us with kindness, like a cage. And when we were open. She did not finish the sentence. Mara's voice was soft. Is that why you reacted when we arrived? You thought we were like them? Vera's grip tightened on her blade. Her gaze burned with caution. I do not react, she said sharply. I measure. I calculate. I do not freeze like others did before the end. But Hayes remembered something. When they first saw her, before she spoke, there was a flicker. A moment of uncertainty. She had frozen. Even if she refused to admit it. Another tremor shook the base. Dust rained down again. The emergency lights flashed red. Vera looked toward the ceiling. They are returning. The ones who call monsters beautiful so they can break them. Hayes felt his pulse quicken. There was no turning back now. He looked at his team. We stand together. No matter what happens. Vera watched him. Something unreadable sparked in her eyes. Not trust. Not friendship. Just the beginning of a question. Humans, she murmured, almost too quiet to hear. What are you really? The hallway tremors faded again, as if whatever was outside chose to wait. The silence felt heavier than the shaking. Dust settled like snow across broken tiles. Vera led the humans through a reinforced doorway. The metal panel slid aside with a painful screech, revealing a room shaped like a circular arena. The walls were lined with armor stands, some empty, some still holding shattered sets of sorry battle gear. It looked like a place where warriors trained and fell. Hayes scanned the room. Why bring us here? Vera stepped into the center, her long blade dragging across the floor. Because you need to see. To understand what comes next, you must know who I am. She reached toward a broken visor resting on a pedestal. She held it carefully, almost reverently. The glass was cracked, but a faint holographic reflection shimmered across it. The reflection showed her younger, less battle-scarred, more alive. This was my first helm, she said. I earned it when I was a child. The training was cruel, the victories worse. We were taught to reject comfort, to kill doubt, to never listen to soft voices. Mara looked around at the armor stands. Did that make you strong? Vera did not hesitate. Yes. And it destroyed us all the same. She set the visor down and looked at Hayes. Her expression did not soften, but her posture changed, less like a fighter about to strike, more like a survivor who was tired of being misunderstood. Humans, she continued, fight for reasons we do not. You fight for each other. You fight because you care. You fight because you hope. Another weakness. Another illusion. Hayes tilted his head. You think hope is weakness? In my world, Vera replied. It is. Hope blinds. It makes warriors trust dangerous things. Like compliments. Like praise. Like the word beautiful. At that word, the air in the room seemed to pause. The team didn't speak. Hayes watched Vera carefully. He remembered how she reacted when the hologram used the word. The way her jaw clenched, the way her eyes shifted, like she had been transported somewhere she didn't want to go. Hayes spoke slowly, choosing each word like stepping stones on thin ice. What does beautiful mean to you? Vera's eyes flicked to him. It means vulnerability. It means a moment when a warrior hesitates because the world suddenly feels gentler than it should. It means confusion. It means danger. Mara whispered. Danger? How? Vera paced in a circle, boots scraping softly. When someone calls you beautiful, she said, they are saying you are more than your scars. More than your blade. More than your training. They are saying there is something worth protecting. She stopped walking. Her voice lowered. And a warrior who thinks she is worth protecting is a warrior who might let her guard down. Hayes understood. Not everything, but enough. So when someone used that word on your people, it made us hesitate. Vera cut in. It slowed us. It made us question. And in war, a heartbeat of hesitation is all it takes to fall. She moved to a control console along the wall and activated it. A holographic map lit up, the entire outpost, red markers scattered like splintered glass. These marks, she pointed, are where they struck first. Not with weapons. With words. The humans stared at the map, unsure how to respond. It was hard to imagine a compliment as a weapon. Hayes stepped closer to Vera. Not aggressively. Just enough so she didn't have to raise her voice. That word doesn't mean control to us, he said. It means appreciation. Respect. Sometimes admiration. But not control. Vera studied him, eyes narrowing. Then say it. Hayes blinked. Say what? Say something you believe. Say something that is true. Not to break me. Not to trick me. Say it to measure your own meaning. Hayes hesitated. He didn't want to cause harm. He didn't want to repeat whatever had been done to her people. But she asked? And she asked not like a threat, but like a challenge. He took a breath. Your strength, Hayes said, is real. Not because you never feel, but because you survived even when feeling could have killed you. Vera flinched, not physically, but something behind the eyes. A flicker of shock. Hayes didn't notice Mara and the others staring at him. He focused only on Vera, who now stood motionless. He added, voice calm. And that is beautiful. The word hung in the air like a spark suspended in water. Vera's breath caught in her throat. She didn't move. She didn't blink. It was like her mind had been forced to stop so her body wouldn't collapse. But she did not attack. She did not scream. She simply froze. Not in fear. Not in anger. In conflict. Like the world she knew suddenly did not match the world she was seeing. Her voice, when it finally came, was quiet, cracked. Why would you say that? Why? What do you gain? Hayes answered truthfully. Nothing. You asked for truth. That's all it is. The floor trembled beneath them, harder this time. A distant explosion shook dust from the rafters. Vera's eyes snapped back into focus. The moment was gone. The war was returning. She raised her blade. The tremor did not stop. It rolled through the outpost like thunder trapped underground, shaking walls and rattling broken armor on the racks. Dust fell like pale rain. Hayes steadied himself as the lights flickered from red to black, then back to red again. Vera's posture changed instantly. Her confusion vanished. The word beautiful was pushed aside, buried under instinct and training. Her blade hummed as the runes along its edge flickered to life, glowing a cold blue. They breached the outer barrier, she said. This room will not hold. Mara tightened her grip on her scanner. Captain, I'm getting movement. 7, no, 8 signatures. Non-human. Hayes motioned to his team. Form perimeter. Watch all angles. Vera looked at him sharply. You will die if you stay here. Your weapons are not made for them. Then tell us what they are, Hayes said. Vera answered with a voice scraped in steel. They are the hollow choir. They do not speak with their mouths. They speak with your memories. They twist your thoughts. They break your certainty. The humans exchanged uneasy glances. Hayes tried to steady his breathing. How do we stop them? You do not stop them, Vera replied. You survive them. A metal panel in the far corner exploded inward. Smoke burst through like a living creature. From within the smoke, silhouettes moved, tall, thin, bodies like stretched shadows, armor shaped like bone. Their helmets were featureless masks, smooth and pale, like erased faces. Hayes lifted his weapon but did not fire. Something in his head whispered wait, not a voice, but a feeling, like someone tapping inside his skull. His hand trembled for a moment. He clenched his jaw and forced the sensation away. The figures stepped closer. They did not walk normally. It was like reality bent for them, each step happening a fraction of a second too early or too late, time folding around their movements. Then the air filled with sound, not loud, but intimate. A whisper. Not from their throats. From inside. "You are tired. Lay down." Mara gasped, hands flying to her helmet. They're speaking in my mind." Vera moved like lightning. She struck the floor with her blade, and the runes flared, creating a shockwave of blue light that rippled outward. The whispering stopped, like a door slamming shut. Hayes blinked hard. His vision cleared. Vera glared at him. "If you hesitate again, they will take you. Fight with will, not fear." Hayes nodded. "Then stand with us." For a second, just a heartbeat, Vera hesitated. The word from earlier echoed in her mind like a fragment of a dream. Beautiful. A word that once meant danger. A word that now meant something she had no definition for. She pushed it away. "I stand," she said. The hollow choir surged forward. Hayes fired first, bright bursts of kinetic rounds slamming into the floor around them. The bullets struck, but instead of bleeding or falling, the choir staggered like shadows hit by light, their forms rippling as if trying to remember how to be solid. "They are not flesh," Vera warned. "Strike their symbols. The glyphs on their chest." Hayes focused, aiming for the strange glowing marks etched into their armor. When a round hit one, the creature convulsed, a crack of light splitting through its form before it flickered out like a candle. "We can hurt them," Mara shouted. "Temporarily," Vera corrected. "They will reform. We must move." The group fell back through a doorway. Hayes covered them, firing controlled bursts. The outpost around them groaned, structural supports weakening from the constant tremors and impacts. Vera led them toward a corridor that sloped downward. "There is a vault below. A generator that can release an energy pulse. It will scatter them long enough to escape." Escape. Hayes didn't like the word, but survival was the mission now. As they ran, echoes of the hollow choir followed, whispers crawling along the walls like invisible fingers. "You cannot run. You are fragile. You are small." Hayes steadied his voice. "Vera. Why are they here? Why destroy this place?" Vera didn't look back. "Because they fear what we could become. They fear warriors who start to believe they are more than weapons." She glanced at Hayes, just a fraction of a second, remembering the compliment. Humans say words like armor. Her people never learned how to wear them. A blast struck the corridor behind them, throwing heat across their backs. The hollow choir was close. Hayes pushed forward, refusing to look back. "Then let's show them what happens," he said, "when humans stand with someone they believe in." Vera tightened her grip on her blade. Belief. Another dangerous word. But for the first time, she did not reject it. "Very well," she said. "Let us make them fear." Together, they charged into the vault. The battle for the outpost had begun. The vault doors slammed shut behind them with a heavy metallic echo. The thick barrier locked into place, sealing the humans and Vera inside. For a moment, the world outside faded, no whispers, no footsteps, just silence and the steady hum of machines buried deep beneath the outpost. Captain Hayes leaned against the wall, catching his breath. The room was colder than the halls above, lit by pale white strips that flickered along the ceiling. Large crystalline generators lined the chamber, each one pulsing with contained energy like hearts made of ice. Mara scanned the readings. "Power levels are unstable. This place can't handle another direct hit." Hayes nodded. "We need a plan before they break through." Vera paced near the generator platform. Her armor scraped softly with each step, leaving faint marks on the floor. She looked restless, like a storm trapped in a cage. "They will not stop," she said. "The hollow choir is not like you. They do not fear death because they do not die. They shed bodies the way seasons shed leaves." Hayes watched her carefully. There was something different in her now, not softer, but less certain, like her foundation had cracked. The compliment from earlier hung in the shadows of her memory, a thought she wanted to forget but couldn't. "What do they want with you?" he asked. Vera stopped pacing. She didn't turn to face him. "They want silence," she said quietly. "They want a galaxy where no one questions, no one dreams, no one believes they are more than what they are told." Mara frowned. "That sounds like control." "It is," Vera replied. "Control is their weapon. Control through doubt. Control through praise. Control through fear." Hayes stepped forward. "Then we don't give them control." Vera looked at him. Her eyes were unreadable, like windows looking out over a battlefield that no longer existed. "You speak as if it is simple," she said. Hayes shrugged. "Simple doesn't mean easy." There was a crack of thunder against the vault door. Dust drifted from the ceiling. The hollow choir had found them again. Mara recoiled, fear creeping into her voice. "Captain, the door won't hold." Vera turned toward the central generator. "We have one chance. The pulse generator below this vault can overload. It will create a sphere of force that disrupts the choir's form. They will scatter, but not forever." Hayes followed her gaze. The generator was massive, a towering structure of crystal and metal. Energy surged through it like lightning frozen in glass. "Can we control the pulse?" he asked. "Only partly," Vera answered. "It will drain power from the entire outpost. After that, there will be no lights, no shields, nothing to protect us." "So it's a temporary win," Hayes said. "Yes," Vera replied. "A heartbeat of victory. Enough to escape, not enough to save this place." Mara looked conflicted. "Then what's the point? If we can't win here?" Hayes cut her off. "The point is to live long enough to warn others." The vault door boomed again. A thin crack formed down the middle, glowing faintly. The hollow choir's whispers leaked through the breach like gas. "You are tired. You are weak. You are already lost." Hayes clenched his teeth. His mind felt heavy, as if invisible hands were pressing against his skull. He forced himself to focus on Vera's voice, not the whispers. She approached him. Close enough to speak quietly without the others hearing. "You used a dangerous word on me," she said. "You broke the rhythm of battle. You made me feel something I cannot define." Hayes avoided her gaze. "It wasn't my intention to hurt you." Vera shook her head. "It did not hurt me." She paused, confused by her own words. "It changed something. But I do not know if it changed the world outside, or only the world inside me." Hayes didn't answer. He didn't know how. Vera looked at the generator. "I will overload the core. But once I begin, I cannot stop. I will need you to cover me. They will try to enter before the pulse reaches full strength." Hayes nodded. "We'll handle it." The vault door groaned again, the crack widening. Vera stepped toward the generator platform, placing her hands on the control nodes. The runes on her armor glowed as she connected with the machine. "Begin," she said. Mara and the others formed a defensive line with Hayes. Weapons up. Breath steady. The voice of the hollow choir seeped in like poisoned smoke. "Why struggle? You are nothing against us." Vera's voice cut through, a whisper that still carried like a battle cry. "No," she said. "We are more than nothing." Light surged from the generator. The floor trembled. Hayes gripped his weapon tighter. Outside, the hollow choir shrieked, all voices merging into one. The final breach was moments away. And the pulse had only just begun to rise. The vault door finally split open. Not like a normal break. The metal peeled outward, curling like paper caught in fire, edges glowing white-hot. A cold wind poured in, even though there was no wind source. The air itself felt wrong, like it had forgotten how to behave. The hollow choir stepped inside. Their bodies flickered between shapes, sometimes solid, sometimes hollow silhouettes, like ghosts learning how to be alive. Their masks remained blank, smooth faces with no eyes. But the humans could feel something watching them, studying them, waiting. Hayes aimed his weapon. His heartbeat felt loud, like it echoed inside his helmet. "Hold position!" he shouted. Mara steadied her rifle. The rest of the team locked into firing stance. Behind them, Vera's voice rose over the hum of the generator. "The pulse is rising. Do not let them reach me. If they interrupt the surge, the overload will fail." Hayes nodded. "Understood." A figure from the choir stepped forward. Its mask cracked down the center, and a whisper spilled out like smoke. "You pretend strength." Another whispered. "But fear bleeds from you." A third voice layered over the others. "We will take your doubt. We will wear it." Hayes fired. Each shot lit the vault in bright flashes. The rounds struck the symbols carved across the choir's armor, causing their forms to distort and warp. Some collapsed like broken shadows, scattering into dust made of light before reforming near the walls. Mara shouted, "Captain, they're multiplying!" "No," Hayes corrected. "They're reforming faster!" The choir advanced. They didn't run. They didn't rush. They simply appeared, closing the distance with impossible steps, reality bending to let them pass. Hayes backed up, firing controlled bursts. Mara switched to stun rounds, hoping disruption would buy time. One of the creatures materialized in front of her. Its mask pressed close to her visor. "You are replaceable." Mara gasped, vision blurring, knees shaking. Vera's blade cut between them. Not touching. Just striking the ground. A surge of blue light erupted from the runes, and the hollow choir staggered back as if pulled by chains. The whispers stopped. Mara's breathing steadied. "Do not listen," Vera ordered. "They feed on belief. Do not believe them." Then she returned to the generator, forcing more energy into the core. Sparks danced around her hands, and the crystals vibrated like they were singing, but a sound humans were not meant to hear. Hayes shouted over the rising hum. "How much longer?" Vera's voice strained. 90 seconds. That was a long time to stay alive. The first choir member broke the perimeter and lunged for Hayes. He rolled aside, firing as he moved. The creature twisted midair, avoiding the shot like it predicted the path before he even pulled the trigger. Hayes hit the ground hard, but didn't stop. He aimed again, this time not at the body, but at the floor, ricocheting around upward. It struck the creature's glyph. The form split apart like shattered glass. Hayes stood. "They learn. So do we." 2 more choir forms moved in. Before Hayes could react, something unexpected happened. They hesitated. Not long. Not enough to be obvious. But enough for Vera to notice. She turned eyes fierce. "They are confused. Your resistance is not what they expect." Hayes fired again. "Good. Let's confuse them more." Another wave of whispers slithered through the room. "Why protect her? Why fight beside a relic? She is broken." Hayes' voice boomed back, stronger than the whispers. He wasn't shouting to them. He was shouting to his team. "She's not broken. She's standing. That's what matters." Vera faltered, just for a moment, as if the words hit like a blow. Strength. Respect. Not flattery. Not manipulation. A memory flashed through her mind, the word that froze her. Beautiful. Now it echoed differently. Not dangerous. Not poisonous. Just confusing. But the confusion did not weaken her. It sharpened her. She slammed her hands into the generator nodes. The crystals cracked, releasing light that crawled across her armor like lightning spiders. "The pulse is ready!" she yelled. Hayes shouted to his team. "Fall back! Shield your visors!" The choir reacted, voices merging into one single roar. No! They charged, all at once, flickering through space, claws like bone scythes forming from their shadowed arms. They moved too fast. Faster than bullets. Faster than thought. One reached Hayes. Another reached Mara. A third leaped toward Vera. Vera screamed a command. Now! Hayes fired at the generator core. The shot connected. The crystal shattered. The vault exploded with light. Not fire. Not heat. Light. Pure white, spreading like a tidal wave. A pulse that felt like it tore the world apart piece by piece and rebuilt it without hesitation. The hollow choir shrieked, every voice collapsing, glitching, twisting. Their forms broke apart like paper disintegrating in water. The masks melted into dust, the whispers cut short like someone severed a wire. The floor shook. The power died. Lights went black. Silence. Total silence. Then emergency lights flickered on, weak but present. Hayes coughed, pushing himself up from the floor. Everyone sound off. Mara groaned. Alive! The others echoed, shaken but breathing. Hayes turned to Vera. She knelt on one knee, armor smoking, blade used as a brace to keep her upright. She looked exhausted, not physically, but like something inside her had stretched to breaking. But she was still alive. Hayes stepped toward her. You did it! Vera looked up, eyes dim but focused. No, she said. We did it. Then she looked past him, toward the vault door, now broken, open to the dark halls beyond. Her voice was low. Honest. This is not over. They will return. And when they do, they will remember you, human. The one who spoke weapons made of words. Hayes nodded. Then let them remember. Vera stood, slowly. They will fear you. Hayes met her gaze steady. Good. The outpost, wounded but standing, watched silently. Outside, the galaxy shifted, just a little. A new story had begun. The vault doors hung open like broken jaws, pieces of metal scattered across the floor. The emergency lights flickered weakly, painting the hallway in red shadows. The hollow choir was gone, scattered, disrupted, forced back into whatever dimension they crawled from. But the air still felt tense, like the echoes of their voices were waiting in the walls. Captain Hayes steadied himself as he walked toward the entrance of the vault. Every step felt heavier now, not just from fatigue, but from what they had learned. Humanity was not just seen as strange or unpredictable out here. They were seen as dangerous. Mara limped to his side, one hand pressed to her shoulder. Captain, if that was just a scouting force, then what's coming next? Hayes didn't answer immediately. He looked back at Vera. She stood near the ruined generator, smoke curling off her armor. Her blade was sheathed, but her posture remained alert, like a warrior who didn't believe in victory until the battlefield was silent for 10 full nights. Vera spoke before Hayes did. What comes next, she said, is a question that your species must answer. The choir will not forget today. You broke their certainty. You wounded their pride. You showed them there is something in this galaxy they do not understand. Hayes nodded slowly. Humans. Vera corrected him. No. Humanity. The idea of you. The idea that a species can fight with words and still draw blood. Mara frowned. We didn't kill them. We just scared them. Vera shook her head. Fear is a wound. It spreads. For a moment, no one spoke. The outpost structure groaned above them. Small pieces of debris rained down, tapping against the floor like falling teeth. Hayes finally broke the silence. We need to get this place evacuated. Anyone else alive? Vera lifted a hand. There is no one else, she said. Not cold. Just true. This place is a grave of lessons. We leave it to rest. Hayes looked around, at the broken armor stands, the shattered training hall, the cracked visor she had shown them. A history built on discipline and silence had come to an end here. And humans were now part of that ending. Vera stepped closer to Hayes. Not invading space. Not seeking comfort or trust. just choosing proximity. You asked me why the word beautiful carries fear, she said. I did not have an answer then. Hayes glanced at her, cautious. And now? Vera's gaze traveled across the hall, the broken weapons, the empty helmets, the training scars in the stone. I think it is because, when someone believes you are more than a weapon, you must decide if they are right. The line landed like a weight in the room. Not emotional. Not romantic. Just truth that felt sharp. Hayes exhaled. You don't need to decide today. Vera nodded once. No. But I must decide soon. They moved toward the exit, stepping carefully across shattered ground. The main blast doors to the surface were stuck halfway open, bent by earlier impacts. Hayes and two others worked the manual release, grunting until the door screeched wider. Sunlight poured in, a cold, violet-tinted daylight beneath the twin moons. The outpost stretched ahead like a scar across the land. Vera stood in the doorway, wind tugging at her armor. Your ship will take us from here? Hayes nodded. If you want to come with us. Vera looked at the horizon as though listening to something far away. My people will not welcome me, she said. They will say I changed. They will say I hesitated. They will say I lost myself the moment I heard that word. Hayes waited. Vera continued, voice steady. But maybe losing who I was is how I become something else. She turned to face him fully. I will travel with you. Not as ally. Not as enemy. As observer. With time, I will see if your words are stronger than our silence. Hayes extended a hand, not for a handshake, not for agreement, just a gesture that meant choice. Vera did not take it. But she stepped past him, toward the shuttle. It was enough. As they crossed the outpost courtyard, Hayes spoke quietly to Mara. Send a transmission to command. We need to warn them. What do we tell them? Mara asked. Hayes stared at Vera's silhouette ahead of them, a warrior who didn't know if she was broken or rebuilding. Tell them, Hayes said, that humans are not alone anymore. And neither are the things that fear us. Mara nodded and activated her transmitter. Static crackled, then a connection formed. This is Aurora 9, she said. We encountered hostile entities known as the Hollow Choir. They are returning. Prepare defenses. Spread the word across every colony. Humanity is not just discovering the galaxy. She looked at Hayes. Hayes finished the sentence. The galaxy is discovering humanity. As the shuttle engines roared to life, Vera looked back at the outpost one last time. She whispered a word in her own language, not translated, not explained. A farewell. Then she stepped inside. The shuttle lifted into the violet sky. And far behind them, in the ruins below, the wind carried a whisper that was not human. We will return,